We are on the record for hearings and the matters listed in the North Dakota Industrial Commission hearing docket for November 20th. I'm David Garner, hearing examiner for these hearings. We are at the hearing room for the Department of Mineral Resources, Oil and Gas Division, and it is 9 a.m. On the docket, the following matters will be continued or dismissed. Case number 32330 continued. Case number 32332 continued. Case number 32335 continued. Case number 32336 continued. Case number 32337 continued. Case number 32053 continued. Case number 32056 continued. Case number 32338 continued. Case number 32253 continued. Case number 32339 continued. Case number 32126 continued. Case number 31842 continued. Case number 32341 continued. Case number 32342 continued. Case number 32049 continued. Case number 32050 continued. Case number 32051 continued. Case number 32052 continued. Case number 32065 dismissed. Case number 32066 dismissed. Case number 32067 dismissed. Case number 32069 dismissed. Case number 32070 dismissed. Case number 32343 continued. Case number 32345 dismissed. Case number 32349 continued. Case number 32350 continued. Case number 32351 continued. Case number 32352 continued. Case number 32353 continued. Case number 32354 continued. Case number 32355 continued. Case number 32356 continued. Case number 32357 continued. Case number 32358 continued. Case number 32359 continued. Case number 32360 continued. Case number 32361 continued. Case number 32362 continued. Case number 32363 continued. Case number 32083 continued. Case number 32177 continued. Case number 32178 continued. Case number 32086 continued. Case number 32087 continued. Case number 31928 continued. Case number 31929 continued. Case number 31930 continued. Case number 31977 continued. Case number 32004 continued. Case number 31960 continued. Case number 31966 continued. Case number 31967 continued. Case number 31968 continued. Case number 31969 continued. The administrative docket starts on page 8 with case number 32343 and goes through case number 32287 on the supplement. These cases will be heard in the next one with Mike Zisch. Audio recordings of the case on the administrative docket will be placed on the Oil and Gas website by the end of the week. If you wish to appear in one of the matters in the administrative docket, please appear in the next room. If there is opposition to the matter, it will be brought back into this hearing room to be heard, and your statements and evidence will be taken. We'll begin with moving to case number 32330, application of RIM Operating Inc. for an order creating and establishing a 320-acre drilling unit described as the north half of Section 10, Township 153 North, Range 101 West, Mackenzie County, North Dakota, authorizing the re-entry of an existing well and completion of the same into the Red River Formation and such other relief. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32330. Case number 32331, application of Savannah LLC for an order of the stockyard for the Stockyard Creek Lock and Pool, Williams County, North Dakota, to create and establish two overlapping 1920-acre spacing units comprised of sections 20, 21, and 22, and sections 23, 26, and 35, Township 154 North, Range 99 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 8 wells on each proposed overlapping 1920-acre spacing unit, and such further relief as appropriate. All interested parties, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Lawrence Bender, P.O. Box 1855, Bismarck, North Dakota, and I'm appearing in case 32331 on behalf of Savannah LLC. We'll have 3 witnesses in this matter, who I see are on the screen.
Can you hear us, Lisa?
Yep. Yes.
Ms. Potts. Ms. Potts?
Can you hear us, Hannah? Hannah, can you hear us?
Oh, now we can.
So we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Ms. Potts?
Okay. Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Hannah, state your full name for the record, please.
Sure, it's Hannah Potts.
And Hannah, by whom are you employed?
Savannah,
In what capacity?
the landman.
And in that capacity, you testified before the commission previously?
I have.
Have your qualifications been accepted as that of an expert?
Yes.
You offer the further testimony of this witness that of an expert.
Motion granted.
Hannah, let's turn to the pack of exhibits for case 32331. I've distributed a packet to the commission staff. I assume you have a packet in front of you.
I do. Yes.
Let's turn to what's been previously marked as L1. And what I would like you to do, Hannah, is identify L1 and then briefly discuss what's contained upon that exhibit.
Sure. L1 is our general locator map showing Williams and McKenzie counties. And the area highlighted in red is our area of interest, being Township 154 North, Range 99 West, sections 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, and 35.
Okay, then let's go to L2, as you did with L1. Hannah, please identify L2 and then briefly describe what's contained upon it.
Sure. L2 is a land plat showing our existing 1280 spacing units in 154 North, Range 99 West, being sections 1 being 21 and 20, with Savannah et al. Working interest being about 92.95% working interest. Sections 22 and 23, with Savannah et al. Being about 69% working interest, and 26 and 35 with Savannah et al. Working interest being about 89.84% working interest.
Okay, then let's go to the next exhibit, please. L3.
Sure. L3 is a land plat showing existing spacing, 1280 spacing units that we discussed in L2, along with the proposed new 1920 spacing unit consisting of sections 20, 21, and 22, with Savannah having about 72.5% working interest.
And then L4.
And L4 is also showing our existing 1280 spacing discussed in L2, along with an additional 1920 acre spacing unit consisting of sections 23, 26, and 35, with Savannah having about an 85% working interest.
Mr. Examiner, that's all the questions I have for this witness.
Any questions from the staff? Ms. Nickens,
Yes,
do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
yes, I do.
Lisa, by whom are you employed?
Savannah,
In what capacity?
I'm a geologist.
And in that capacity, you testified before the commission previously?
Yes, I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
Yes.
For the further testimony of this witness, that of an expert.
Motion granted.
Lisa, let's turn to the next exhibit in the packet of exhibits that Hannah started discussing for us. It's been previously marked as G1. And as Hannah did, what I'd like you to do is first identify G1 and then briefly discuss what's contained upon it.
G1 is a structure map over the top of the Middle Bakken in the area of interest in Stockyard Creek. The contour interval on the map is 20 feet, and the structure shows an overall down dip of the geologic strata to the east-southeast. The yellow acreage indicates Savannah's operating position, and the well circled in red in section 4 of 153.99 West is the nearest vertical well with available detailed logs for this area of interest.
Okay, let's go on then to G2. Can you tell us what G2 is?
G2 is a type log of the well I just mentioned on the previous map. It is, the well name is the Brogger 21-41, It was spud in March 1985 as a vertical Red River well and reached a total depth of 14,500 feet. The type log shows the gamma ray on the left side and the density porosity logs on the right side. And then on the right side of the type log, the formations are described starting with the upper Bakken, the middle Bakken member, lower Bakken shale, and the first through fourth Three Forks bench. I have the top of the Nisku shown as the lowest formation top in the log. The target interval is shown by a rectangular label on the left side, and is labeled the middle Bakken target.
No further questions.
Any questions from the staff? Ms. Hale,
Yes, sir.
do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, sir.
Kelly, by whom are you employed?
Savannah Energy,
In what capacity?
a staff drilling engineer.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Staff drilling engineer.
And in that capacity, have you testified before the commission previously?
Yes.
And you've had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
Yes.
For the further testimony of this witness out of an expert.
Motion granted.
Okay, Kelly, let's go on to the next exhibit in the packet. It's been previously marked E1. As the previous two witnesses have done, what I'd like you to do is identify the exhibit first and then briefly highlight what's contained upon the exhibit.
Okay, yeah, this is an exhibit showing our proposed 8 east-west Bakken horizontals, and then also 8 north-south Bakken horizontals within the previously described units. All 3 miles.
Okay. What's the approximate distance between the wells?
800 feet.
Okay. And what are the plans? Will you batch drill all of the wells, or will you drill a couple wells in each one of the 1920s and then come back and drill other wells at a later date? What is the plan for development?
I think currently our plan for development is to first develop the north-south ones utilizing one pad in the central. We will batch drill the surfaces, the Dakotas, and then come back and do the intermediates and laterals together on those wells.
Okay, and you indicated, I believe, that the surface locations for the north-south wells will be on the north end. What about the east-west wells? Where are the surface locations planned there?
We don't have a surface location picked out for those yet, but we will get the plats going on those. But we do have an existing location that we will be drilling the north-south ones from.
Okay. All right, let's go on then to Exhibit E2. Can you tell us what E2 is?
Yes, E2 is a wellbore diagram. It shows our standard 4-string of casing design with the surface casing, 13 3/8 surface casing, a 9 5/8 inch Dakota string, and then our 7-inch intermediate and a 4.5-inch liner. And then obviously the conductor that'll be preset before the rig gets there.
Okay, and this is the typical wellbore this is the typical wellbore that you propose for each one of the wells that you're requesting the opportunity to drill.
Yes, sir. And it's a cemented lateral with utilizing a wet shoe step.
Okay. And did you indicate how many frac stages you would have?
About 80.
Okay. Let's go on then to E3. Tell us what E3 is, and then just briefly highlight the more important aspects of E3.
Yes, so this is the economics for a 3-mile Bakken lateral in our Stockyard field. They were ran at a strike price of $57.71, with the NPV being a 3.35 and a payout of about 1.64 years.
Okay. And is Exhibit E4, is that a gas capture affidavit that the commission typically requires in these sorts of matters?
Yes, sir, it is.
And in your opinion, will the requested relief prevent waste, protect correlative rights, and prevent the drilling of unnecessary wells?
Yes, sir.
No further questions. Mr. Examiner would offer each of the exhibits that were discussed by the 3 witnesses.
Exhibits are admitted. Any questions from the staff?
Kelly, In the 640 spacing units, there's an active well in each of them in the proposed laid out 1920. So a well in section 21, 22, and 23. Are those Bakken wells also? Bakken target?
Are you talking about the diagonal wells?
Correct.
Yes, they are.
Does Savannah intend to continue to produce those wells? Are you going to plug and abandon those before you drill the proposed 1920 wells?
No, our intention is to continue to produce those both before and after. We will shut them in for frac, but we even leave it open while we're drilling them.
Are you doing any frac stage setbacks or any concern with anti-collision?
As far as the anti-collision goes, we use our geosteering to avoid the wells, and we are blanking out, I believe, a stage on each side of the crossing, or like a stage over like the whole crossing. But we're bringing a lot of these wells online, so that's something that we're fine-tuning as we get more information and more production data.
In the same situation for the proposed stand-up 1920, I would assume.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
When's the approximate development date?
The approximate development date, on particular of the north-south wells, would be March.
Thank you. East-west, any plan on those yet? The east-west wells?
We don't have those on our rig schedule yet, but so I don't know an exact timing on those.
Thank you.
Kelly, in your exhibit E3, your oil price, is that a typo?
Yes, it is. it's just the rest of it's correct. It's supposed to be 57.71.
Okay.
Just a couple. I wish that was it real, but yeah, just move that decimal place over 2.
And then you said you're going to use an existing pad for the north-south wells. Is that the pad up in section 14?
Yes, you can see that NSI well that is kind of starts there in the north western kind of corner. We are going to utilize that pad and expand it.
Northwestern corner of.
Yeah, like of what is that, section 23? You can kind of see the existing horizontals, the NSI 2324H.
Yes.
It's that pad.
So it's in the, looks like the south.
Oh, sorry, it's the northeast, sorry.
Southwest of the southeast of section 14.
Yes, it's an off-spacing unit, yes.
And then the existing 1280s of 20, 21, 22, and 23, 26, and 35. I assume you want those terminated?
Yes.
And then there's some permits in the southwest of 22. I assume those will have to be probably canceled.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes our hearing for case number 32331. Case number 32332, application of SOGC LLC for an order for the Branch Creek Bakken Pool and/or Bicycle Creek Bakken Pool, Mackenzie County, North Dakota, as follows. 1. Create and establish an overlapping 1920-acre spacing unit comprised of sections 13, 24, and 25, Township 146 North, Range 99 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 horizontal wells on said proposed overlapping 1920-acre spacing unit. And 2. Create and establish a 1920-acre spacing unit comprised of section 36, Township 146 North, Range 99 West, and sections 1 and 12, Township 145 North, Range 99 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 horizontal wells on said proposed 1920-acre spacing unit and such further relief. This case has been continued to our January hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32332. Case number 32333, application of Slauson Exploration Company, Inc. for an order for the Kittleson Slough Bakken Pool, Montreal County, North Dakota, as follows. 1. Create and establish an overlapping 1920-acre spacing unit comprised of sections 13, 14, and 15, Township 157 North, Range 91 West, authorizing a total not to exceed 7 wells on said proposed overlapping 1920-acre spacing unit. And 2. amending order number 33739 and any other orders of the commission to reduce the number of wells authorized on an existing 1280-acre spacing unit comprised of sections 14 and 15, Township 157 North, Range 91 West, from a total not to exceed 3 wells to a total not to exceed 1 well on said existing 1280-acre spacing unit, and such further relief as is appropriate. All interested parties, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Lawrence Bender, P.O. Box 1855, Bismarck, appearing case 32333 on behalf of Slauson Exploration Company.
Mr. Culbertson.
You must be muted, James.
Yeah, good morning.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, I do.
James, by whom are you employed?
Slauson Exploration,
In what capacity?
Lane Man.
And in that capacity, have you testified before the commission previously?
Yes,
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
yes.
And offer the further testimony this witness that of an expert.
Motion granted.
James, let's turn to the packet of exhibits for case 32333. Let's skip the cover page, excuse me, and the table of contents, and let's go to exhibit 1. Please identify exhibit 1 and briefly discuss what's contained upon it.
Yeah, Exhibit 1 is a location map showing the Kittleson Slough Field in Montrose County. The proposed 1920 acre spacing unit is highlighted in yellow and consists of sections 13, 14, and 15 of 157 North, Range 91 West.
Okay, and then let's go to exhibit 2.
Exhibit 2 is a working interest schedule for the proposed spacing unit, shows Slauson et al. With 59.39% working interest. And then below that is a breakdown of other working interest owners in the spacing unit.
No further questions.
Any questions from the staff? Mr. Dolezal.
So I think we're actually hoping to present some of our exhibits out of order. I think he ran into traffic and we're hoping he'll arrive if we present the engineering testimony first, if that's acceptable.
Okay. Are you Mr. Miller?
I am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
Will, by whom are you employed?
Slauson Exploration,
In
as a reservoir engineer.
Okay, thank you. And have you testified before the commission previously?
Yes, I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
They were.
Offer the further testimony of this witness that of an expert.
Motion granted.
Will, let's turn to, I think your first exhibit would be exhibit 5, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, let's, I'm going to have you identify exhibit 5 and then briefly discuss what's contained upon it.
So Exhibit 5 is a development map that shows the existing wells on the two underlying spacing units, the 640 acre and the 1280 acre unit, as well as the proposed overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit, with the wells that Slauson would plan from that new unit shown from a single pad. It shows development of both the Middle Bakken and the Three Forks formation, with 3 wells in the Middle Bakken and 4 wells in the Three Forks, based on the existing Middle Bakken wells in the underlying spacing units. I will note this, we get into this a little bit later in later exhibits, but Slauson plans to initially drill the 3 Middle Bakken wells and has those on the calendar for drilling in 2026, and is asking for the spacing to develop the Three Forks in the future if commodity prices improve to the point that those economics make sense. But at this point, those Three Forks wells are not on our 2026 drilling schedule.
Okay, well, let's go to exhibit 6.
Exhibit 6 is a example wellbore schematic of the proposed well construction that we would use for wells in this field, showing a 3-mile lateral with a cemented liner, which we would complete with plug and perf design.
And how many frac stages are you planning for these wells?
I believe we would use about 45 based on our current implementation, but that is something that we continually refine. And so when we're ready to frac these, probably in the second half of 2026, the design could change at that point in time.
Okay, exhibit 7.
Exhibit 7 are some reservoir characteristic data that we would expect for the Kittleson Slough Field in this area. I'm not going to read everything on here, but some highlights, some decent porosity, 6.5% for the Middle Bakken, 7.74% for Three Forks. Water saturation in the Middle Bakken is 40% versus about 62% in the Three Forks. And that's what results in about 75% less oil in place at about 3,700 MBO versus almost 5,000 in the Middle Bakken.
Okay, and then Exhibit 8.
Exhibit 8 are some example of the estimated well economics for a 3-mile well on the 1920 acre spacing unit targeting the Middle Bakken. We would expect an EUR of about 455,000 barrels of oil, about 660,000 MCF of gas at $60 WTI flat oil price. If the well costs $9 million, that would result in about $26 million in sales. Taxes to the state of North Dakota of about $2.4 million. And we would show that being a 35-month payout with a PV8 return on investment of 1.28 to 1. Sorry, PV10 return on investment of 1.28 to 1.
And then let's go to Exhibit 9.
Exhibit 9 is a very similar exhibit showing the expected well economics for a 3-mile lateral targeting the Three Forks in this field. As we saw from the oil in place on the reservoir characteristics, we would expect a lower recovery from the Three Forks, about 342,000 barrels of oil is what we think we would expect from a 3-mile lateral here. At $60 oil, you can actually see on a PV10 basis, that doesn't recover the well costs. It loses about $98,000 in our estimation. And even on a PV0, it would take 63 months to pay out. That doesn't meet kind of our economic hurdles, which is why I indicated this wouldn't be for the Three Forks targeted wells on our drilling schedule in 2026 in the current commodity price environment. But we are asking for the spacing to target Three Forks in the future because we do think there's recoverable oil there.
And Exhibit 10, is that a gas capture affidavit that the commission typically requires in these sorts of matters?
Yes.
In your opinion, will the requested relief prevent waste, protect correlative rights, and prevent the drilling of unnecessary wells?
Yes.
Has Mr. Dozel arrived?
He has not. Would be acceptable for me to kind of speak to his exhibits. I know that he prepared them, and I'm not a necessarily geologic expert, but present them from this Lawson business perspective.
Well, not offering any expert testimony on it, but perhaps you could just provide some factual information as to the geologic exhibits. Can you try that for us, Will?
Yes.
Okay.
So turning back to Exhibit 3.
Yep.
Exhibit 3 is a structure map that was prepared by our geologist. I believe that label in the header showing the contour interval of 20 feet is incorrect. The label in the legend describing that contour interval as 10 feet is actually the correct. I apologize for that typo, but it's showing the structure map of the Middle Bakken in this area. And he did also indicate and highlight where the type log that we were using on the next exhibit is shown just to the west of the proposed spacing unit.
Okay, you want to turn to that type log?
So Exhibit 4 is a type log from the Custer 14-17 well drilled by True Oil Company. And he has highlighted on that type log the Middle Bakken and first bench of the Three Forks zones that would be potentially targeted as described in my testimony.
Mr. Examiner, I have no further questions. Offer the exhibits. I think maybe the geologist just walked in, right?
That's correct.
Okay. I guess so. If there are any questions, perhaps the geologist can help out. That's not to suggest you didn't do a great job, Will. Just.
Did you want to offer the exhibits? Or?
Oh yes, please offer the exhibits.
Exhibits are admitted. Any questions from the staff?
We'll use in Exhibit 5, just make sure I understand what you're stating to the commission, but your pad location there, that's going to be a new build pad, correct?
That is going to be a new build, yes.
Does Lawson intend to build the pad to be able to allow for both the Bakken?
Sorry, I only heard
both the Bakken and the future Three Forks wells, or are you only going to build the pad of size for the current proposal for the Middle Bakken wells?
I believe that the pad is going to be constructed, at least the surface rights are going to be secured, sufficient that we would have the rights to expand the pad to drill the Three Forks. I don't know that we finalized the exact size of the pad. And if that development were to be further down the road, I know we often reclaim because the ultimate production pad is often smaller than what's needed for the drilling needs. So I know we're working on securing the rights to have a pad large enough to drill all the wells, but it may well be reclaimed to a smaller footprint if that additional drilling is going to be much farther down the road.
Okay. And then on that same exhibit, you basically could remove the red dotted lines, which are your Three Forks laterals, proposed Three Forks laterals. Is that going to be the proposed interwell distances for the Middle Bakken then, as what you're indicating?
I believe that the only other difference to some extent is that southernmost Middle Bakken well, especially in the 3rd mile, may be angled down slightly to kind of fill that gap within the south half or southern portion of section 13 and result in more in closer more equivalent interwell spacing between the toes of those 3 new Middle Bakken wells. But generally that is the approximate pattern in order to keep the new wells away from that existing lateral on the southernmost half of sections 14 and 15.
And the current well in section 13, do you intend to plug that wellbore, or are you going to continue to produce that well?
I believe we're going to continue to produce it. We are likely to, and when we've encountered this sort of drilling issue or situation in the past, what we've done is we've usually skipped about a frac stage that's bracketing that wellbore in each of the wells that kind of traverse that existing well, and we would shut it in during the drilling. But I believe the plan is to ultimately continue to produce that well in section 13.
You don't anticipate any anti-collision issues?
No, I don't. No.
Okay, thank you.
Well, on your exhibit 6, you indicated approximately 45 frac stages, so that equates to roughly 15 frac stages per mile. Did I hear that correctly?
I believe that's what we've been doing with some larger perf clusters per stage, but actually minimizing the number of wireline plug runs. So that is currently close to the design we've been using. But again, that's something that we continually monitor and see whether we think it's the most effective and whether it's working. So we would finalize that when we're ultimately ready to frac this.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes our hearing for case number 32333. Case number 32334. Application of EOG Resources Inc. for an order amending the applicable orders for the Ross Bakken Pool to allow a well to be drilled and completed in such a manner so as to allow the horizontal portion of the completed wellbore to be located not less than approximately 300 feet from the western boundary of the spacing unit, comprised of section 32, Township 157 North, Range 90 West, the east half of section 2 and the west half of section 1, Township 156 North, Range 91 West, Montreal County, North Dakota, or in the alternative to allow the same well to be drilled and completed in a manner as set forth above on a 2560 acre spacing unit comprised of sections 31 and 32, Township 157 North, Range 90 West, all of section 2 and the west half of section 1, and the east half of section 3, Township 156 North, Range 91 West, Montreal County, North Dakota, as an exception to any applicable setback requirements and such further relief. All interested parties please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner. Lawrence Bender, P.O. Box 1855, Bismarck, preparing this matter, case number 32334 on behalf of EOG Resources, Inc.
Mr. Fry,
Yes, sir.
please raise your hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Boston, by whom are you employed?
EOG Resources.
Do you have your mic turned on?
There we go. EOG Resources.
Okay, and in what capacity?
Senior Land Specialist.
And in that capacity, have you testified before the commission previously?
I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
Yes, sir.
Offer the further testimony this witness that of an expert.
Motion.
Austin, let's turn to the back exhibits for case 32334. And let's skip the cover page and go to exhibit L1. Can you identify exhibit L1 and tell us what's contained upon it?
Yes, Exhibit L1 is a regional locator map showing Montreal County, North Dakota, and the Rossbuck Pool boundary within that county.
And L2.
L2 is an area locator map showing the Rossbakken Pool and the sections of interest here. Outlined in green is the Rossbakken Pool boundary, and then we have the proposed 1280 and the alternative relief outline as well on Exhibit L2.
And L3.
L3 is a land plat showing the working interest of EOG Resources in each of the proposed spacing units and alternative relief. 54% in the spacing unit comprised of Section 32, the east half of Section 2, and the west half of Section 1, and 56.11% working interest in the alternative relief spacing unit comprised of Section 31, Section 32, all of Section 2, the west half of Section 1, and the east half of Section 3.
And then L4.
And then L4 is the same as L3, although there are existing spacing units depicted on that exhibit as well. There's existing 1280 and existing 2560.
No further questions.
Any questions from the staff?
Austin or Lawrence, I see this was advertised as potentially as an exceptional location. And can you allude as to who was notified?
I have to go back and check my file, but I believe everyone in the in 32 and the area directly to the south, and in 31 and the area directly to the south. If you look at Exhibit L3.
So that would have included all of the EOG's lessees.
Can you repeat that, please?
That would have included all of the EOG's lessees in 31 and
Yes.
West Tampa 2 and East Tampa 3.
Yes.
That's correct. And due to existing wellbores, we were able to notify any owners that are in those existing wells as well. And so it's not just limited to EOG's lessees, but it's a broader group, all royalty and working interest owners.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yes, sir.
please raise your hand. You solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
John, by whom are you employed?
EOG Resources
What capacity?
as a senior geological engineer and operations coordinator.
And in that capacity, have you testified before the commission previously?
I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
Yes, sir.
Offer the further testimony of this witness that of an expert.
Motion granted.
John, let's go to the next exhibit in the packet. It's been previously remarked E1. Tell us what E1 is.
Okay. So we're trying to get our drill a well, essentially equidistance between the two existing wells, the Clearwater 27 well and the Clearwater 25 well. There is normally this would just be a line well spacing unit, and we would put it right, or it would be confined to 250 feet on either side of the section line. Obviously, this includes half sections of section. Or it goes down the half section line of section 2, and there's an offset there, which is depicted on. You can see it on the next exhibit of about approximately 39 feet, and so and being right in the center of the two wells, as you can see from the list on the right hand side, at approximately position A, where to put right in the center would be 380 feet off the section line, so outside of the normal section line well corridor. B, we're at about 370 feet, and then as you go down into section 2, it jumps to 270 and 230, which are closer because the half section line moves over 40 feet, and then as you can see at the bottom of the Clearwater 27 well, it starts to tail off to the west. So the center line, or putting a well on the center line, kind of moves to the west as well. So what we're asking for is the ability to drill the well in essentially in the center of the two existing wells, and since that would not conform to a line well spacing unit or the totally conform to the line well spacing unit corridor of 250 feet on either side of the section line, or a unit well in section 32 and east half of 2, west half of 1. That's why we're asking for the exception location.
Okay, let's go on then to the next exhibit.
The next exhibit was just to show that there is an offset. If you'll look kind of in the center, it calls out approximately 39 feet, and then 49 feet, and then 40 feet. So this at the township boundary, there's an offset of there's obviously an offset of the sections by about a half section, but then there's an additional 40 feet. So when we're trying to get it right down the center, that accuracy is affected by that survey. So that's why I have that second exhibit in there.
So, John, probably obvious, but perhaps still for the record, can you explain briefly why it's important for you to have the equal distance between the two wells with your, as you refer to it, as a line well?
We're just trying to make sure that the drainage that we're equidistant drainage wise off the two existing wells, and the best chance for that to be a successful well would be right down the center.
And do you believe that if this request is granted, it's going to prevent waste, protect relative rights, and prevent the drilling of unnecessary wells?
I do.
Mr. Examiner, all the questions I have, offer the exhibits.
Exhibits are admitted. Any questions from the staff?
John, I'm going to do my best to ask my question, so hang in there with me on this. On Exhibit E1, and also looking at your case caption, you're stating, or the EOGs had requested as completed wellbore to be located not less than approximately 300 feet from the western boundary. And looking at what you show us on E1, you wouldn't be less than, if I understand you right, less than 300 feet until you get down to the letter C. Am I understanding what you're showing us correctly, or?
That's great. I'll let.
Yeah. So the caption on the application, what we're trying to do there is we've formulated the application such that it would be a unit well in the 1280 that is already existing, but allow us to get up to 300 feet from that western boundary line. The alternative relief that we've asked for also in that is, if that's unacceptable, is to then make this a corridor well and grant us some relief so that way we can make this well equidistant. But the reason for the not less than 300 was so we could make it a unit well, which is already spaced, already available to us, but to give us that extra space over rather than being at the standard setback.
Essentially, we're asking for relief to the 500-foot east-west setback if it's a unit well on the 1280, or we're asking for relief to the 250-foot corridor, so additional to the east, if it were the relief were deemed to be for the 2560 line well.
Okay, I think I'm following. Thank you.
So, John, and I don't really have an issue with what it says, not less than approximately 300 feet from the west line, but obviously in section 2, you are less than 300 feet from the west line. With that being said, do you believe the proposed well will drain reserves from section 31 in the west half of 2?
From 31 in the west half of 2, yes, it will have drainage from 31 in the west half of 2.
So it may be more appropriate for it to be quote unquote lease line horizontal well.
I wholeheartedly agree. We put both options in there because if we had come to you with the lease line well option and it having the greater working interest, I feel there would have been a question as to whether we were being appropriate with that. So we put both options in there. My personal opinion is yes, it should be a lease line well with the ability to drill up to that 380 feet, or if we got 150 feet of relief from to the east from that 250 foot corridor on each side of the section line, that would be appropriate.
Okay, thank you.
Concludes our hearing for case number 32334. Case number 32335. Application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order for the Juneau Bakken Pool, Divide County, North Dakota as follows. 1. Create and establish 3 overlapping 1920 acre spacing units comprised of sections 3, 10, and 15, sections 7, 8, and 9, and sections 22, 27, and 34, all in Township 162 North, Range 93 West. Authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 wells on each proposed overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit. And 2. Create and establish 3 overlapping 25 60 acre spacing units comprised of sections 16, 21, 28, and 33, sections 17, 20, 29, and 32, and sections 18, 19, 30, and 31, all in Township 162 North, Range 96 West. Authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 wells on each proposed overlapping 25 60 acre spacing unit, and such further relief as appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. Concludes our hearing for case number 32335. Case number 32336, application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Bockwell Noonan Bakken Pool, Divide County, North Dakota, to create and establish an overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit comprised of sections 23, 26, and 35, Township 162 North, Range 96 West. Authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 horizontal wells on said proposed overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit, and such further relief. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32336. Case number 32337, application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Upland Bakken Pool, Divide County, North Dakota, to create and establish 6 overlapping 1920 acre spacing units comprised of sections 3, 10, and 15, sections 4, 9, and 16, sections 5, 8, and 17, sections 20, 29, and 32, sections 21, 28, and 33, and sections 22, 27, and 34, Township 161 North, Range 96 West. Authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 horizontal wells on each proposed overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit. Such further relief. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32337. Case number 32053. Application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Fraser Bakken Pool, Divide County, North Dakota, so as to create and establish 3 overlapping 5120 acre spacing units comprised of sections 13, 14, 23, 24, 25, 26, 35, and 36, sections 14, 15, 22, 23, 26, 27, 34, and 35, and sections 15, 16, 21, 22, 27, 28, 33, and 34, Township 161 North, Range 97 West, authorizing the drilling of a horizontal well on or near the section line between existing space units on each proposed overlapping 5120 acre space unit, and or such further relief. I will note that the request for the 5120 acre space unit consisting of sections 15, 16, 21, 22, 27, 28, 33, and 34, Township 161 North, 97 West, has been withdrawn from the application. This case has been continued to December hearings. That concludes the hearing for case number 32053. Case number 32056, application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order for the Stony Creek Bakken Pool and or Williston Bakken Pool, Williams County, North Dakota as follows. 1. Create and establish an overlapping 1280 acre space unit comprised of sections 27 and 34, Township 155 North, Range 100 West, authorizing drilling of a total not to exceed 6 wells and said proposed overlapping 1280 acre spacing unit. And 2. Terminate an existing 1280 acre spacing unit comprised of sections 22 and 27, Township 155 North, Range 100 West, authorizing drilling of up to 6 wells and said existing 1280 acre spacing unit, and such further relief as appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes the hearing for case number 32056. Case number 32338, application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Border Bakken Pool and or Stoneview Bakken Pool, Burke County, North Dakota. Create and establish 2 overlapping 1920 acre space units comprised of sections 3, 10, and 15, in sections 22, 27, and 34, Township 161 North, Range 94 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 5 horizontal wells on each proposed overlapping 1920-acre spacing unit, and such further relief. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes the hearing for case number 32338. Case number 32253. Application of Silver Hill and Energy Operating LLC for an order amending the field rules for the Stoneview Bakken and North Tioga Bakken pools, Divide County, North Dakota, to modify an overlapping 2560-acre stand-up spacing unit comprised of all of sections 13, 24, 25, and 36, Township 160 North, Range 95 West, and authorizing the drilling, completion, and production of a total not to exceed 3 horizontal wells on such proposed spacing unit, and such other relief as appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32253. Case number 32339. In the matter of the application of Pride Energy Company for an order barring Phoenix Operating LLC from assessing a risk penalty against Pride for the drilling and completing of the Marshall 13-24 1H well, Marshall 13-24 2H well, Marshall 13-24 3H well, and Marshall 13-24 4H well, all located in the spacing described as all of sections 13 and 24, Township 144 North, Range 94 West, Murphy Creek Bakken Pool, Dunn County, North Dakota, and such other relief as is appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 32339. Case number 32126, application of Phoenix Operating LLC for an order amending the applicable orders for the Hart Butte Bakken Pool to establish a laydown 2560-acre spacing unit described as sections 14, 15, 16, and 17, Township 148 North, Range 91 West, Dunn and McLean Counties, North Dakota, and authorize 8 horizontal wells to be drilled on such units, granting such other relief as may be appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 32126. Case number 31842. Application of Phoenix Operating LLC for an order amending the applicable orders for Cottonwood Bakken Pool to establish an overlapping 38 40-acre spacing unit described as sections 10, 11, 14, 15, 22, and 23, Township 159 North, Range 92 West, Burke County, North Dakota, and to authorize 1 horizontal well to be drilled on such unit and granting such other relief as may be appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes the hearing for case number 31842. Case number 32340. In the matter of a hearing called in a motion of the Commission to consider the temporary spacing to develop an oil and or gas pool discovered by the WGO Resources LLC, Trester 1-21 well, located in the northeast, section 21, Township 139 North, Range 104 West, Golden Valley County, North Dakota, to find the field limits and enact such special field rules as may be necessary. All interested parties, please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Examiner Lawrence Bender, P.O. Box 1855, Bismarck, North Dakota. Appearing in this matter, case 32340 on behalf of WGO Resources, LLC.
Are your witnesses available?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't see him. Mr. Moritz. Oh, okay.
Peace. There they are.
Mr. Moritz,
Yes,
do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
yes, I do.
Richard, by whom are you employed?
Wolverine Gas and Oil Corporation and WGO Energy Resources.
In what capacity?
Vice President of Land.
And in that capacity, you testified before the commission previously?
Yes, I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
Yes, I have.
Offer the further testimony of this witness, that of an expert.
Motion granted.
Richard, let's go to the packet of exhibits for case 32340. Let's turn to what's been previously marked as Exhibit 1. And what I would like you to do is identify Exhibit 1 and then just briefly highlight the importance or what's contained on this exhibit that's important to the hearing.
Yes, Exhibit 1 is the regional locator map showing the following. The blue hatchet outline in the center is the Trester 121 drilling unit, as well as the proposed Trester field, being the southeast quarter of Section 16, the northeast quarter of 21, 139 North, 104 West. It shows nearby North Dakota oil fields, shows the Sentinel Butte field in solid green, hatchered, a little bit to the northeast of the blue. square, and it also shows a small part of the South Camel Hump Field Hatchard green line at the top of the exhibit.
And the Sentinel Butte field, that's is that a field that was discovered, or was that a pool that was discovered by WGO Resources?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and that was recently, temporary spacing was recently held for that hearing, is that correct?
That is correct.
And it's a similar pool as what's being considered today for temporary spacing, is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, let's go on to the next exhibit, Richard, Exhibit 2. As you did with Exhibit 1, please identify Exhibit 2 and then briefly discuss what's contained upon it.
Yes, the Exhibit 2 is the size and shape of field in the unit. It shows the proposed Truster field outline, as well as the Truster 121 unit outline in the blue Hatchard in the center. It shows the bottom hole location, which is 506 feet from the north line of Section 21 and 1,842 feet west of the east line of Section 21. And it is colored in green. It is leased 100% by Wolverine.
And to drill this well, WGO previously made application to the commission to create a 320-acre drilling unit. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And based on that 320-acre drilling unit, the well was drilled and completed, and now we're here for temporary spacing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And what WGO is requesting is, and the engineering witness will get into this in a little bit more detail, but you're requesting temporary spacing of one well to 320 acres, and the field boundary being the 320-acre spacing unit. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's all the questions I have for the land witness.
Any questions from staff?
Richard, could you repeat those bottom location footages again?
Yes, I will. 506 feet from the north line of Section 21 and 1,842 feet west of the east line of Section 21.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Hartwick,
Yes, sir.
do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Emily, by whom are you employed?
Wolverine Gas and Oil,
In what capacity?
the manager of geology.
Okay, and in that capacity, have you testified before the commission previously?
Yes, I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
Yes.
Offer the further testimony of this witness that of an expert.
Motion granted.
All right, Emily, let's turn to the next exhibit in the packet, been marked Exhibit 3. What I'd like you to do is identify Exhibit 3 and then briefly discuss what's contained on that exhibit.
Okay. This exhibit shows the post-drill structure map on the top of the Red River B, which is generally dipping down towards the basin, towards the north and northeast. And the Truster 121 well location is shown, which has been completed and is producing, along with the proposed spacing unit and field outline in the red and the blue dash, which are overlapping. The structural elevation of the Red River came in 35 feet high to prognosis, and we interpret the porosity pod that the Truster produces from to be isolated in nature, and therefore we're recommending this Truster 121 well be spaced as that single unit within the proposed Truster field.
And Emily, I don't know the answer to this truly, but the well is a Red River D well, is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
But I see on the exhibit, and perhaps you intended this, but it says Red River B structure contour. Is this a Red River B structure contour?
That is correct. So after we've done some additional seismic interpretation here, we felt that the B marker provides a strong reflector for mapping purposes. And the B and the D structures are highly conformable. such that a local high on the B structure also reflects a local high at the D interval. The interval thickness between those two zones is approximately 130 feet, and that isopac is very consistent over our project area. So when we look at a map on the Red River B, it shows you the same structural features as we would expect to see at the D level.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on then to the next exhibit, Exhibit 4. Can you tell us what Exhibit 4 is?
Yep, Exhibit 4 shows, again, the proposed outline for the Trester Field, which, as we've described, is the southeast of Section 16 and northeast of Section 21 of Township 139 North, Range 104 West. The pool for the Trester Field is the Red River, and that's defined as the stratigraphy below the base of the Stony Mountain Formation to above the top of the Rough Lock Formation, which I will also show on the next exhibit in a cross-section form. So this map shows the one spacing unit, which is 320 acres in size for that Trester 121 well.
And what you have here is the pool, the Red River, below the base of the Stony Mountain Formation to above the top of the Rough Lock Formation. That's what you're recommending to be the stratigraphic limits of the pool. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and that's similar or identical to what the commission established as the pool limits for Sentinel Butte?
That is correct. Yep.
Let's go on then to Exhibit 5. Tell us what Exhibit 5 is.
Okay. This exhibit illustrates the stratigraphic definition, again, of the proposed Trester Field with the cross-section A to A prime, which runs from the Olstead Pearl Well to the north of the proposed field down to the Trester 121. The pool defining stratigraphy of the base of the Stony Mountain and the top of the Rough Lock are posted on the cross-section, and the correlation of the stratigraphic markers of the Red River are also shown, specifically the top and the base of the D zone, which we are producing from, is shown in purple. The green porosity curves in the far left track of each log display illustrates the differences in the Red River from the Olstead Pearl Dry Hole, which had no reservoir development in the Red River D, compared to the Trester 121, which was porous in the Red River D. On that 121 wellbore, you can see the green box illustrates the gross perforation interval within the Red River D, and we will look at that specific interval in more detail on the next exhibit.
All right, let's go to the next exhibit, Exhibit 6.
This exhibit shows a petrophysical summary for the Trester 121. It illustrates the net pay based on a 6% porosity and a 55% water saturation cutoff. In the far left track, the net pay is shown with the green bars. And in the Trester 121, I calculate 22 feet of net pay with an average net porosity of 13% and an average net water saturation of 46%. The discrete perforation intervals are shown with the red symbols in the depth track. And these net pay values were used for the volumetric calculations that will be referenced during the upcoming engineering testimony.
No further questions of this witness.
Any questions from the staff?
Emily, I've noticed that at the base, towards the base of the Red River D, where the net pay seems to be the greatest, there's no perforation. Is that intentional?
Yeah, so if you focus on the far left-hand track where you see the very skinny green pay flags,
yep.
That is the pay that meets both the porosity and the water saturation cutoff. Where you're seeing the green towards the base on the far right track in that water saturation column, that is associated with a very tight log response. So while the water saturation curve is acting like it's oily, it's actually just showing you that there's very tight rock there. So it's not actually reservoir.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Ritzema,
Yes.
do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief?
I do.
Jordan, by whom are you employed?
Wolverine Gas and Oil Corporation,
In what capacity?
production engineer.
And in that capacity, have you testified before the commission previously?
I have.
Had your qualifications accepted as that of an expert?
I have.
Offer the further testimony of this witness that of an expert.
Motion granted.
Jordan, let's go to the next exhibit in the packet, Exhibit 7. As the previous witnesses have done, what I'd like you to do is identify Exhibit 7 and then briefly highlight the more important parts of the exhibit.
Sure. So Exhibit 7 is engineering data. This is the information requested by the commission for the well. So I will talk through the highlights. I will not speak to every item, but I'll move through each section. So as to the timing, the well was spud 8/1 of 25. We completed the well on September 3rd, and first production was September 27th of 2025. Going to the reservoir description section, this is a Red River D well. The top of the Red River D was 11,621 feet. The thickness, 22 feet, ties to Emily's petrophysics, and then it's based on a 320-acre unit, and it's a solution gas drive reservoir. Moving to the fluid properties, the oil gravity is 36.8, GOR of 640, and oil formation volume factor of 1.37. And then moving to the middle left, the reservoir rock properties, 13% average porosity, water saturation of 46%, and an original bottom hole pressure of 5,205 PSI. And then the middle right, performance and volumetrics, I list the cumulatives through 11/6, November 6th are posted there. And the original oil in place is a little over 2 million barrels. When we apply a 15% recovery factor to that, our estimated ultimate recovery is 305,000 barrels. And then on the lower left, fluid disposition, the oil and water are hauled, the gas is flared. I list the wellbore construction, perforations, production method. The well is produced on rod pump. And then going to the lower left, the summary of the single well economics for the Trester 121 are listed here. When the economic output is, we expect a rate of return of 39% and project life of 16 years and a return on investment in 2.4 years.
So Jordan, you talked a little bit about the gas being flared. Is any of the gas being used on lease to run the treater?
Yes, we're using gas for our treater. We have a generator on site producing power to power our pumping unit and facility.
Okay, let's go.
And that is being ran off well gas.
I'm sorry. Say that again, Jordan.
I was just clarifying that the generator is running off well gas.
Okay, gas that would otherwise be flared.
Correct.
Good. All right, let's go on then to your Exhibit 8. Talk a little bit more about gas flaring and location of your well to nearest gas gathering facility.
Yes. So this is the gas infrastructure connect map. In the lower left, you'll see the proposed Trester field outline in the blue hash. And then the red line is a hypothetical gas sales line to the nearest gas infrastructure. And this connects to the nearest gas gathering connect point, as we understand it through conversation with ONEOK. This is a non-surveyed direct line route, and it is approximately 20.5 miles. The cost estimate for this line is the primary component of the capital cost presented on my next exhibit.
Okay, let's go to that exhibit,
That's all.
exhibit 9.
So exhibit 9 is the gas flare exemption data requirements. I'll move through each section. The gas price presented in item 1 is $3.89 per MCF. The capital cost presented in item 2 is $14.85 million. This includes the cost to run the gas gathering line and required facility modifications that would be needed to move and process the gas. The line cost is an estimate that was compiled internally and with input from ONEOK for recent industry averages for rural rough terrain install. Item 3 presents the current gas rate of the Trestor 121, which is 153 MCF per day. And item 4 presents the estimated gas reserves available for the well, which is 139 million cubic feet. And the calculated net revenue undiscounted for the project is $712,000, which leaves a net cash flow of a little over negative $14 million.
Now, Emily, in her testimony, identified a field that's operated by WGO to the north and to the east of this newly discovered pool. In looking at the economics of connecting this well that's under temporary spacing today to a gas gathering facility, did you look at all into gathering gas from the wells in the Sentinel Butte field and see if that would result in an economic venture of installing a gas gathering facility?
Sure. Yeah, I did look at it. Those volumes are not included in this economic analysis. But as an example, the total gas produced by those wells in the Sentinel Butte field is less than the current production of the Trestor 121 gas as of today. So it does not change the economics.
Okay. And then if we go to exhibit 10, and exhibit 11 and exhibit 12, those are oil, gas, and water analysis. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Information the commission typically requires in these sorts of matters. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yep.
And then direct your attention to exhibit 13. What's exhibit 13?
This is our conclusions and recommendations.
Okay. Can you?
Would you like?
Yeah.
Would you like me to read through?
Yeah. Please discuss.
Sure. So, conclusion and recommendations, the Trestor 121 well is a producer of oil and gas from the Red River D formation. The field outline, the field extent includes the southeast of section 16 and the northeast of section 21 of township 139 north, range 104 west, which is 320 acres. The well is located not less than 660 feet from the spacing unit boundary. The well should be allowed to produce at an unrestricted rate and flare the gas. And we would like to establish a spacing unit of one well for 320 acres with the spacing unit description as follows. Trestor 121, southeast of section 16 and the northeast of section 21 of township 139 north, range 104 west.
And currently there's no plans to drill additional wells.
Correct.
And but WGO would still request that the standard buffer zone language be included in the order, that in the event economics change and WGO were to find another location, it would be able to move forward without the necessity of potentially having another hearing before the well is drilled.
Yes, we would request that. We do request that.
So in that regard, you're requesting all the standard rules that come along with establishing 320 acre spacing for a Red River D pool. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
In your opinion, will that request prevent waste, protect relative rights, and prevent the drilling of unnecessary wells?
Yes, it will.
That's all the questions I have for this witness. We'd offer the exhibits.
Exhibits are admitted. Any questions from the staff?
Yeah, approximately how much of the gas is utilized to run the pumping unit within the, run the treater as well?
I'm going to approximate 20 MCF. So as of today, that would be little under 10%, but that percentage will change drastically in the following year because, we see a substantial decline in the first year.
Okay, thank you.
Jordan, in the case 31838 that established this, the order established this drilling unit from that case, there was an exhibit that showed where you believe the porosity in this area was. Did you learn anything when you drilled this well to change that interpretation?
Sure, I'm going to defer to Emily on that.
That's fine.
Yep. So with the one well penetration that we have, we did confirm that we encountered high quality reservoir where we anticipated finding it. So we feel that again just goes to validate our model that we're using with the 3D seismic to identify the porosity.
So you believe the area that you indicated in the previous case is the area that's being drained?
Yes. Yep. We feel that definitely confirms our interpretation of the extent of the porosity in this area. Yep.
Lawrence, does WGO have any objection to us taking administrative notice of the exhibits in case 31838?
No objection.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes our hearing for case number 32340. Case number 32341, in the matter of a hearing called on a motion of the Commission to consider the temporarily abandoned status of the Storm Federal 24-30H well operated by White Rock Oil and Gas LLC, southeast-southwest border, section 30, township 146 north, range 99 west, Grassy Butte Field, McKenzie County, North Dakota, and such other relief as is appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 32341. Case number 32342, on a motion of the Commission to consider the proper spacing for the development of the Grassy Butte Tyler Pool, McKenzie County, North Dakota, redefine the field limits and enact such special field rules as may be necessary. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 32342. Case number 32049, in the matter of a hearing called on a motion of the Commission to consider the application of Continental Resources, Inc. for an order authorizing conversion of the Durant 4-12H well located in a spacing unit comprised of sections 1 and 12, township 155 north, range 99 west, Williams County, North Dakota, for the temporary injection of gas in the East Fork Bakken Pool pursuant to NDAC Chapter 43-02-05 and such other relief as is appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32049. Case number 32050. In the matter of a hearing called on a motion of the Commission to consider the application of Continental Resources, Inc. for an order authorizing the conversion of the Durant 5-12H well located in a spacing unit comprised of sections 1 and 12, township 155 north, range 99 west, Williams County, North Dakota, for the temporary injection of gas in the East Fork Bakken Pool pursuant to NDAC Chapter 43-02-05 and such other relief as is appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes the hearing for case number 32050. Case number 32051. In In the matter of a hearing called in a motion of the commission to consider the application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order authorizing the conversion of the Durant 6-12H1 well located in a space unit comprised of sections 1 and 12, Township 155 North, Range 99 West, Williams County, North Dakota, for the temporary injection of gas to the East Fork Bakken Pool pursuant to NDAC Chapter 43-02-05 and such other relief as is appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 32051. Case number 32052. The matter of a hearing called in a motion of the commission to consider the application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order authorizing the conversion of the Durant 7-12H well located in a space unit comprised of sections 1 and 12, Township 155 North, Range 99 West, Williams County, North Dakota, for the temporary injection of gas to the East Fork Bakken Pool pursuant to NDAC Chapters 43-02-05 and such other relief as is appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes our hearing for case number 32052. Case number 32056, application of EOG Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Cottonwood Bakken Pool and/or Alger Bakken Pool, Montreal County, North Dakota, to create and establish an overlapping 38-40 acre space unit comprised of the east half of Section 21, all of Section 22, the west half of Sections 23 and 26, all of Section 27, the east half of Section 28 and 33, all of Section 34, and the west half of Section 35, Township 157 North, Range 92 West, authorizing the drilling, completing, and producing of a total not to exceed 7 wells with said proposed overlapping 38-40 acre spacing unit and such other relief as appropriate. This case has been dismissed. That concludes hearing for case number 32065. Case number 32066, application of EOG Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Cottonwood Bakken Pool and/or Alger Bakken Pool, Montreal County, North Dakota, to create and establish an overlapping 1,600 acre spacing unit comprised of the east half of sections 23, 26, and 35, Township 157 North, Range 92 West, and all of Section 4, Township 156 North, Range 92 West, authorizing the drilling, completing, and producing of a total not to exceed 3 wells in said proposed overlapping 1,600 acre spacing unit and such other relief as appropriate. This case has been dismissed. That concludes hearing for case number 32066. Case number 32067, application of EOG Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Alger Bakken Pool, Montreal County, North Dakota, to create and establish an overlapping 1,760 acre spacing unit comprised of the west half of Section 31, Township 157 North, Range 91 West, all of Section 3, the east half of Section 4, the northwest quarter, and east half of Section 10, Township 156 North, Range 92 West, authorizing the drilling, completing, and producing of a total not to exceed 4 wells in said proposed overlapping 1,760 acre spacing unit and such other relief as appropriate. This case has been dismissed. That concludes hearing for case number 32067. Case number 32069, application of EOG Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Alger Bakken Pool, Montreal County, North Dakota, to create and establish an overlapping 3,200 acre spacing unit comprised of the west half of Section 4, all of Section 5, the northeast quarter of Section 6, northeast quarter of Section 8, all of Section 9, southwest quarter of Section 10, all of Section 15, the northwest quarter and east half of Section 16, Township 156 North, Range 92 West, authorizing drilling, completing, and producing of a total not to exceed 4 wells in said proposed overlapping 3,200 acre spacing unit and such other relief as appropriate. This case has been dismissed. That concludes hearing for case number 32069. Case number 32070, application of EOG Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Alger Bakken Pool, Montreal County, North Dakota, to create and establish an overlapping 1,760 acre spacing unit comprised of the southwest quarter of Section 6, all of Section 7, the west half of Section 17, and all of Section 18, Township 156 North, Range 92 West, authorizing the drilling, completing, and producing of a total not to exceed 3 wells on said proposed overlapping 1,760 acre spacing unit and such other relief as appropriate. This case has been dismissed. That concludes hearing for case number 32070. Moving to the supplement. Case number 31676. Application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order amending the field rules for the Ranch Coulee Bakken Pool, Mackenzie County, North Dakota, so as to create and establish an overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit comprised of sections 13, 24, and 25, Township 146 North, Range 98 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 4 wells in said proposed overlapping 1920 acre spacing unit and such further relief. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 31676. Case number 32170, application of Continental Resources Inc. for an order for the Fraser Bakken Pool, Divide County, North Dakota, to create and establish 2 overlapping 2560 acre spacing units comprised of sections 14, 23, 26, and 35, and sections 15, 22, 27, and 34, Township 161 North, Range 97 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 3 wells in each proposed overlapping 2560-acre spacing unit, and such further relief as appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 32170. Case number 31478, application of Devon Energy Williston LLC for an order for the Hart Butte Bakken Pool and or Twin Buttes Bakken Pool, Dunn County, North Dakota, to create and establish the following. 1. 1280-acre space unit comprised of sections 4 and 9, Township 147 North, Range 92 West, authorizing the drilling of a total not to exceed 7 wells in said proposed 1280-acre spacing unit. And 2. An overlapping 2560-acre space unit comprised of sections 4, 5, 8, and 9, Township 147 North, Range 92 West, authorizing the drilling of a horizontal well on or near the section line between existing space units on said proposed overlapping 2560-acre spacing unit, and such further relief as appropriate. This case has been continued to our December hearings. That concludes hearing for case number 31478. And that concludes our hearings for the day.